Hey guys, in this episode we're going to discuss the film I Feel Pretty. We're going to give you our thoughts on the new Amy Schumer rom-com. We're also going to talk about some of the negativity the film has been facing and just what we feel about the overall positive message. This is episode 34 of the Reelists podcast. Hola amigos, me llamo Donnie
y soy Oscar
y con
Ruben.
Let's just take it back to English. Spanish wasn't my strong suit.
No, yo voy a hablar en español en este programa.
I don't even know what you said. I heard programa.
So I'm gonna do Spanish in this episode.
Oh, okay. Oh my gosh. Okay, everything I say you just translate for our Spanish listeners.
I don't know if I can do that. I don't think I'm ready for that. Right. No. When you come up with that idea, you're just like, wait, never mind. This didn't sound right.
That would be interesting. I believe in you. I know you could do it.
No.
If you really...
You better keep it like first grade talking,
I would
then.
keep it, yeah. It would be very simple. I'd be like, the movie we saw...
La película era...
was called I Feel Pretty.
I think I'm supposed to just still say I feel pretty. I don't think
I think you would say I Feel Pretty, right?
La película es I Feel Pretty.
Okay, well, we can practice this later, maybe for our next episode.
You started with the hola.
No, but before we get into that, I do want to tell our listeners a couple of things. I want to remind them that we have new episodes coming out every Thursday. So to always tune in on Thursdays, because that is when we put out our new episodes. Don't forget that. B, I want to say...
Sorry, the letters is throwing me off. I'm like, wait, am I supposed to choose which one?
Should I do numbers? Would numbers be better?
Keep it with where you're going.
Okay.
I'm thinking like a test right now. It's like, okay, what's...
Oh, like I'm giving you the options?
Be like, so I think choices. A is true, B is false.
B, I wanted to just say thank you once again for listening. As always, we always appreciate you guys. I'm going to continue to spread the word. Tell everyone you know, the Reelists podcast. We out here. We've been out here, episode
for 4 months.
34 episodes going strong.
It's crazy.
I know, it's crazy. Doesn't feel like 34 episodes. I don't know what it feels like, but 34 just sounds weird. It
doesn't feel like 34. I feel like we have been doing this for a while, but not like we're getting too old for this kind of while.
Yeah. Like, guys, it's been 8 years. I think it's time
to move on to new projects.
I have a fun trivia.
Oh,
we got a trivia.
Talking about in Spanish.
En español.
So, in Mexico, I Feel Pretty is titled Sexy por Accidente. So, Sexy by Accident.
Sexy por Accidente.
That's the name of it in Mexico?
Is the Spanish title.
Wow.
And the title in Spain is...
In España.
Is Que Guapa Soy. So...
Que Guapa Soy.
I'm so pretty, I guess, or I guess it was
how pretty I am.
Well, the Spanish one was sexy, like pretty. I guess you can't translate pretty. I mean, you can. Like there is a translation for pretty, bonita.
It's basically like a proclamation in Spanish. In Spain, it's like
in Spain,
I'm
it's
so pretty.
It's yeah.
Dang. Okay.
Interesting.
Very interesting.
Should do this for all the movies.
Right. I know. I just discovered that you can see the names.
What's your source? What's the source?
IMDb.
Oh, okay. IMDb is pretty solid. We like that.
For more information, you should.
But back to what
so that was B.
That was B.
Thank
and
you,
then
listeners.
There was C. Oh, C. We just wanted to remind the listeners to do not forget to participate in our
giveaway.
Our what's the hashtag they're supposed to use?
Team Reelists giveaway.
Team Reelists giveaway. So remember, go on any of our social media,
YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram,
anywhere, and just leave a comment with the hashtag
Team Reelists giveaway.
Team Reelists giveaway.
I mean, and if the comment we just want to just get an expression of you of what you thought of the movie that we covered. And it could be any of our posts. If it's a post by us, we have a movie review. We just want you to comment on it. We have quick reviews. We have our Instagram posts that are telling you we have new episodes up. Anything like that, or on YouTube, those comments you can leave on the videos themselves. of our episodes, directly. So we just want to get you guys' feedback on what you guys think of the movies we're examining, we're talking about. So, and you get a magnet, our first
official
the Reelists podcast merchandise.
Yes.
You can be proud to say I have.
You're going to be like, I was there. I received the first merchandise from the Reelists podcast.
Well,
and everyone around you is going to be so jealous.
Right, because we don't know if we're going to keep this design. Maybe we switch up the design, and that's the only batch that we make.
They're going to be like, oh, this is the 2018 special edition. The original, with the original Team Reelists logo.
Oh, yeah.
You never know.
You never know.
So I would jump on that.
Right.
It's not hard to do. You just leave us a comment.
But please, Donnie, don't jump on it. Do not leave a comment. Don't create an account.
I'm going to be catfishing us all. 5 different freaking profiles.
I love Donnie the best. He's the greatest.
That Oscar, he needs to go. Oh, yeah. But yeah, don't forget to do that, guys, for real.
Yes, we're excited. We're excited for
all
this.
Jokes aside.
It's our first giveaway. If this is a success, we might do more. We need to know if you guys want these kinds of fun interactions.
I mean, we're willing to do it if you guys are willing to participate.
Exactly.
Meet us halfway.
I don't know if we're supposed to be like, no purchase required. Well, I don't know if sweepstake, like little montage of that.
Well, there is no purchase required.
That's
just
true.
Throw that out there.
Valid for U.S. I mean, is that I guess?
Oh yeah, well, that should probably be something too.
We have some legal terms.
Okay, well, all right.
Okay, only
if you live in the United States.
Yeah.
Sorry to our foreigner listeners. Sorry to our overseas listeners. We appreciate you guys. We totally do. This is the first time we're doing it, so we just kind of need to test the waters just with the U.S. residents. But I promise if there is...
we'll hold a badge for our international.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. We will do something for our international listeners. Mark our words.
We definitely will hold a either something, whether this first batch of magnets or something exclusive just for you guys. We will not forget you. We appreciate you.
We appreciate your patience. We appreciate you guys listening to us, tuning in on Thursdays. We just appreciate you guys. So we will show you appreciation. Just
interact with us. Definitely leave a comment. Don't stop from leaving a comment.
Yeah.
You're not gonna give me.
We're like, why would I leave a comment? I ain't getting nothing out of this.
But I mean, it's great for us to know, who we're interacting with. If it's, for international or not, we would love to know who we're interacting with. I mean, that's just for us to know.
Well said. Good job, Oscar.
The spokesperson, official spokesperson for the Reelists podcast. The podcast did not endorse any violence.
Oh my gosh, you and all your little freaking.
I'm going to work on that.
You should.
My goal is to be the next episode to give like that quick spiel of like legal terms that I have to throw out there before the end of like a sweepstakes.
It better not cost us any listeners.
We'll try not to. We love our international fans. We love our U.S. fans. We love all our fans because you guys are taking the time to listen to us.
Yeah.
Thank you. Boom.
Love it. Couldn't have said it better myself, Ruben.
So that was C. Do we have a D? Do you have a D? Whoa. I mean, this is rated E. If we're going let's just skip D. We'll go straight to have an E.
No, we don't. I think that was it, right?
We'll just say ABC.
I won't sing that song. I do have a F for I Feel Pretty, which is the film we are talking about.
Yes, it is. Spoiler alert. Oh my God, don't spoil it.
I never spoil it. What are you talking about?
And yeah, that's the warning. That's the spoiler.
All right. So guys, if you haven't seen this film and you don't want to be spoiled, then put us on pause, run out with to your nearest movie theater and use that movie pass card that you got and watch the film and then come back and listen to us.
Or use that like points that your friend has from using Movie Pass and has Regal.
Yeah, bro. Where they can redeem a free ticket. Right. There are ways to go watch this film.
There are definitely ways, for sure.
So, I Feel Pretty. A woman struggling with insecurity wakes from a fall believing she is the most beautiful and capable woman on the planet. Her new confidence empowers her to live fearlessly. But what happens when she realizes her appearance never changed?
Oh, does it say that in the plot? Like the synopsis?
Yeah, that's what it says. But what happens when
like
she
that was
realizes
the movie.
her appearance never changed? What'd you say?
That felt like that just described the movie. Like,
yeah,
that was like a good like.
Because I mean,
that was a spoiler.
that was the spoil right there, pretty much. I mean, so like that's the question, because I feel like we kind of talked about that when you first saw the trailer for this movie. What did you get? Did you think that when because it shows she bumps her head, she looks in the mirror and she's like, "Oh my God, I'm hot! Oh my God!" So did you think she was seeing something else, or did you just?
I did. I personally thought for a second they were just not showing us to kind of like, you know, hide, let's say that for the movie to go watch it. But I honestly thought that she was always going to see her different. Like, I don't know whether like a different actress or whatever, but like all of her supporting characters were still going to see her normal. So I thought we were watching it from like a supporting character perspective in that moment, that she was like, you know, "Oh my gosh, I'm so pretty." And I was like, "You're the same person." But I thought there was going to be like a different like look when she saw it, and like when when the movie wanted us to focus on like her perspective kind of thing. I did think that. I'm not going to lie. Which to me that was explaining why she was so confident all of a sudden, like in the trailers when she was like going into the office and she was you know, walking with like confidence, and Meghan Trainor's song was playing,
Which was like a perfect song
for that.
For that. Is that what you thought as well, Ruben? Or did you think something else when you saw the trailer?
I thought something else.
He thought differly.
I did think that.
Our producer.
I'm just
thought
repeating. I'm
differently.
repeating to make sure that, you know, people can
Translate
hear
in español, por favor.
Yeah, I thought that she saw herself, but that she just saw all of a sudden, just thought she was prettier. That's about it. Like, all her insecurities just went away. That's what I felt.
So Ruben, you thought it was more of like she kind of had awakening to some extent, right? Like it was like more of like wait a minute, I actually don't look bad,
Right.
Yeah, in a way, yeah. Or
Okay.
that all of a sudden what she has was good enough, and without really referencing like her past insecurities, just all of a sudden she's like, "Oh damn, I'm hot."
or faking it like that. Yeah, I see what you're saying. So you thought it was more.
I didn't think that she was seeing something else, only because I felt like that's what the message was going to be, that you change your perspective on yourself and your whole confidence changes.
That would have been interesting
As
if.
opposed to being, I see a whole different person, because that doesn't really.
Right. So you were thinking it was just like an attitude change in the same way you like some people are just like, "Oh, I'm gonna eat healthy," and it's like, you know, going for it and like going for it. Like it was more of like a switch of
So like a perspective shift. pretty
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
I was a little, I guess, in between. Like I really wasn't. I
I
wasn't.
didn't even know what this movie was.
No, I knew what it was. Shut up. I knew what it was, but I didn't know. I wasn't sure if it was like what you were thinking, Oscar. Like if she just saw a completely different person, or what Ruben was thinking. Like I wasn't sure. I knew she saw herself differently, obviously, but I was like, okay, is she seeing like a glamorized, like, you know, pin-up version of herself now in her own head, or is she just like loving her body, like she, like every curve and every whatever, like she loves it now? So as we got into the film, we realized that she did indeed see somebody else
that we never saw.
Which I thought was pretty, I don't know, I didn't know how to feel about that at first, because I thought they were going to show it. And I don't mean to like, well, I don't have a problem bringing this reference up, but like I kept thinking back to Shallow Hal. I don't know, you guys said you guys hadn't seen that movie, but
Nope.
You guys know what the premise of the movie was?
No, inform us as if we have.
Okay, well, in a nutshell, Jack Black and Gwyneth Paltrow star in it. Jack Black is this kind of shallow guy. His name is Hal, hence the movie's title, Shallow Hal. And Gwyneth Paltrow plays this, like, she's wearing like a fat suit, and she's this really like obese woman, and Hal is like, you know, this like shallow guy and only likes, you know, thin, skinny women. So basically he gets hypnotized and can only now see people's inner beauty. So now when he sees Gwyneth Paltrow's character, he sees the actress Gwyneth Paltrow. She's skinny and tall and lean and fit, but in real life she's really like this really large woman.
Interesting.
So throughout the film they show what Hal sees, which is this beautiful thin woman, but when it's not from his perspective, we just see her in the.
So
in the
wait,
fat
so
suit.
for the rest of the movie, you see Gwyneth Paltrow in her natural, like it was.
We see her both, like we see it because it keeps shifting between what Hal's seeing and what the world is seeing.
I mean, personally,
So I thought that they were gonna. I wasn't sure what they were gonna do, but I thought we were gonna see some. I thought we were gonna at least see
even
least
for
a
like
couple
one
times.
scene, just to understand.
Yeah,
what
just to see what
yeah.
she saw. So do you guys? I mean, do you think that was like, I mean, a good thing or a bad thing that they didn't show what she saw?
I feel like it's bad because they also didn't cover it. It'd be different if she was at least explaining to how she looked. Like, she kind of was just more of like...
It was pretty general. It was pretty just like, I'm hot.
Yeah,
Or
exactly.
like, or
and
I look good.
I get that can be interpretation of what you define as hot, but I think this was specifically trying to show you a model-like image, I guess what you were supposed to be imagining. So, I feel like
she mentioned abs. So
yeah, in the video, yeah, she was like, look at my abs.
And I think she said something about her ass, maybe, or her arm, something.
Yeah, like...
But that gave you the impression that it was something, not her. She wasn't seeing herself.
Right.
Yeah.
True, for sure. I mean, yeah, I feel like it was like... It was a disservice to the audience to not know what she is seeing to understand why she feels this confidence. Because, yes, I understand, like, saying, oh, I have abs when you don't, is like you get, like, you know, you should be feeling confident, but I feel like getting a visual of it for a movie, I think it makes sense. Like, if it was just a book that we were reading, then obviously you don't need to describe how she looks, but you can go by what she says. I don't know. I feel like this was one of those that it was hard for us to sympathize with her of like, oh, you know what? You do look completely different. So you should feel better. Like, maybe she was looking like a celebrity that she admires or something like that. You know, something that would back up why she has that confidence. Like, appearing is one thing, but to feel confident is there's a reason why beyond just your look. Your look is a part of it, but I don't think that kind of confidence she had was just going to be from an appearance. I feel like she had to look like or feel like she was also someone she can admire. I don't know. That's just...
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, yeah, for sure. I hear what you're saying, and kind of tying it back to like kind of what our podcast is about. So we always are looking at things from a realistic standpoint and discussing how certain situations would play out in real life. So when she was, first of all, one of the things I noticed was every time now that she has this newfound confidence and she sees herself as like the world's most beautiful woman, and she's having these interactions with her friends, with people at work, with people on the streets. And she's basically saying, you know, basically the kind of running joke throughout the film is like, I'm so hot, look at me. And the people are kind of like, you know, a little, you can see the confusion on everybody's faces, right? Or like the kind of feel the awkwardness of the conversation because she's, you know, claiming to be just so, you know, beautiful and saying, and even with her friends, and she's like, guys, I know you're not going to recognize me, but it's me, it's Renee. And her friends are like, kind of like,
I recognize you.
Like what you know, so I feel like in real life, like you would pick up on those cues that everyone's giving you and kind of realize that people can still recognize you and
go not to like take it to the end, but like when she finds out it isn't her, it's kind of just like, how is that simple of a recording of you? Well, it was a live stream, I guess, to some extent on the
it was
projectors.
It was pictures. It was 2 photos of her.
Yeah.
And she thought she was like, one was like her regular photo, and then one was her after she became hot photo, quote unquote. But then she realized it was the same picture.
Like, I feel like you never saw, like, any kind of comparison. Like, you wouldn't take a picture of yourself and,
like you wouldn't start taking a bunch of selfies or something like that, you know?
I felt like
or, like, trying to update all your social media pictures if you're, like, so hot now.
Yeah.
I felt like that was kind of...
I felt like that was kind of frustrating, was that the whole time was, like, you never got the impression that you looked the same. And it was just a lot of missed opportunities. But
it's like, why when you look in the mirror do you see this like glamazon, but when you look at a photo, it's different.
But she did see a photo at one point, didn't she? Because she like had her phone at one point and she showed somebody a photo. I from what I remember, I'm pretty sure she had a photo on there. And she's like, I don't look like this anymore. But it was just a regular photo of her. Because there was already an instance before the whole presentation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She had shown a photo. So then I'm like, okay, so now what makes this presentation click? Like, what made it click that you're like, oh, that's the same person?
Yeah.
Because she had already looked at it before. So, I don't know.
Another thing that I was thinking of kind of like from a realistic standpoint was just a simple thing as when you're getting dressed in the morning, don't you realize that like the clothes you're wearing are the same size as like before your accident?
Gotcha.
So like I was like that. To me, that was like that's like the biggest thing. I would be like, or like if you decide to go shopping for new clothes and it's like
it doesn't fit.
Like I feel like that would be, and I know it's a movie. Like I get it. Like maybe we're just reading I'm reading way too much.
It would have been different if this was just on one day. Like maybe she got this accident in the morning, she had this interview, and then they wanted her to go present, and like this was all covering one day. Then that would make sense because
it would have cleaned it up a bit. It would have like
kind
of took care of those little
right. But this was like a few like days that passed. But yeah.
I mean this was like a while.
I feel like also the realistic part of it also kind of feeds into the negativity that came with the film.
Oh, Ruben's going straight to
I wasn't trying to.
Ruben is trying to hijack this episode. Take it away, Ruben.
No.
The negativity it leads into, he's saying
No, but I just remembered right now that when she goes into the office like the first couple of times, it's supposed to be like crazy that like somebody would like her or whatever think about coming into an office like that.
Right. Her first appearances in the office was, yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, they were, and I feel like that's part of like the backlash or negativity that's come with it because it's not believable, and you're telling people that Amy Schumer is supposed to be a standard that's supposed to be understood from this movie, that in this movie she is a standard of somebody who's unattractive.
Mm-hmm. And she's and Amy Schumer herself is like not too far off from like a standard.
I mean, she's like,
not to say that, now we feel like we're attacking her. She's just a regular.
But that's what the negativity is saying, that it's like people felt like it's weird for Amy Schumer to be playing someone who's in the movie she's supposed to be like so insecure and so unattractive and overweight and flawed. But it's like she's really not. Like she's.
I mean, I will say.
I guess if you compare it to like
if she had makeup on, like if she made herself look ugly, like an ugly Betty kind of character, and she had this confidence, and people would.
That's Oscar's girl.
Yeah.
Be careful.
That's America Forever.
Remember that was your girl?
Yeah, my girl.
But I feel like there would have been less backlash for that.
If they had like uglied her up a little more, or fattened her up a little more,
because
not to be blunt.
What
but
she's saying is the way I am, this visual of Amy Schumer is supposed to be considered ugly in this movie.
Right.
And that's not realistic. Nobody sees it.
No.
So you can't see that she's pretty because you can't see.
It's like we only see. It's like we only see it because you're telling us that it's ugly. Like otherwise, we wouldn't have been like. We wouldn't be like, oh my God, Amy Schumer. Oh,
I mean, I will say, and I'm just saying, this is just more of a positive for her performance. She did have two different characters from the beginning to like after where she thought she was pretty. That was to an extent well performed. I mean, yes, she didn't look those things that we were talking about, but performance wise, she definitely did come off of, initially with that like insecurity of like, no, that's not me, or like trying to secretly sell the size of her shoes. I feel like her performance wasn't a bad thing in this movie, though.
No, I don't either. And I think that's what a lot of critics and people that have seen the film are saying, that she did the best with the material she was given. And another one of those instances where it's like her performance was great, but it's like the script itself wasn't. The material just wasn't there. There were so many hiccups and flaws that people had an issue with. But I could see that. But I mean, I thought Amy Schumer did really, really well. She was, I really did sympathize with her in the beginning, and even, those, that scene where she's like in the beginning when she's looking at herself in the mirror and she takes off her shirt and, and just kind of looking at herself in disgust almost. And, people think that it's like, oh, that's kind of just like people say that this movie's kind of cheesy and that's like one of the cheesier scenes or corny, scenes. But like, it was kind of, for me, it was pretty heartfelt. I was able to kind of empathize with her on that.
Absolutely. And I mean, it was more so of like, they set the tone right with what the character feels. I think it's more visual that was hard for us to accept and be able to be like, okay, I get what you're saying. Yeah, that's like, that's like making a dog in a movie meow. It's like, I get what you're saying, that this dog thinks it's a cat, but it's kind of hard because it is a dog. And I think it's maybe like kind of like that. And maybe that's not the best example, but it was like, so this movie, I mean, the negativity talk is coming from the behind the scenes of the movie being made by this choice of actress, with, you know, the script being not thoroughly thought out. So I could see that the faults are being more so of the setup versus the content that we see.
Yeah.
Like the comedy, it wasn't a flat out comedy where I was dying laughing, but there was
there were some really funny moments.
Yeah, I don't think it's the content that's the problem. It's the representation of the content.
Yeah.
Because it could potentially lead people that already have self-esteem issues to see that they're saying, hey, Amy Schumer is ugly or fat, but look, at the end of it, she accepts herself. When in reality, she's not ugly and she's not really fat. So why are we making this an inspirational story when she's not very far off from that being true? That's kind of where they're coming from. Is like, this is not a girl that's so ugly that why would she ever have confidence? But she came through at the end. That doesn't add up.
And another thing that doesn't add up, which is another one of people's problems, is the ending. When she's, if you haven't seen the movie but you're listening to our episode anyway, she's working for this cosmetics company, and they're starting this like diffusion line, and she basically is towards the end of the movie, she goes to this kind of party that's held because they're doing this new diffusion line, and she's basically like pitching it to everybody in the room. So basically, in a nutshell, after she realizes that her looks never changed from the beginning and she's still the same Renee that she's always been, she's basically telling the room full of people, yes, accept yourself. Like, we, the whole, that message, we come in all shapes and sizes and we're beautiful and we don't need, to feel insecure about ourselves, but still buy the cosmetic lines that we're selling you. Thank you. Like, that's kind of how it ends. So it's like, that is another part of the movie that doesn't add up, because it's like you're telling everyone to accept themselves and not be insecure and not, don't focus so much on what's on the outside and be the true self you are on the inside, but you're still telling people to buy like this makeup line. So it's like kind of doesn't add up.
I mean, I could see it. I don't know if it's because I'm not a woman myself that puts on makeup, but I mean, the makeup product itself is.
That would be like a guy. That would be like if I was in this movie, with my chunky self, and I'm like, hey, bro, like, listen up, fellas. You guys, you don't have to have muscles. You don't have to be big and strong. You just need to be a good man with good character and good integrity. But sign up for our Planet Fitness membership so you can get the muscles. That's kind of what it's like, the same thing.
Yeah.
Oh, because what about those that want to do it? I mean, I get what it's saying. I'm just trying to, I don't know, to maybe trying to understand what the reason for this decision of that. I can just kind of see of like, she's not saying the brand is gonna make you these things, or the brand's gonna give you this confidence that you have to have yourself of who you are. But these products, I mean, I know like that makeup, I don't like makeup, but like for Planet Fitness is like, we can help you get to that kind of level that you want to be if you want to. Like, I don't know, it's like, when you reach out to help for someone and someone's like, I'm trying to think of here, like, I want to be healthy, if we just want to go with that. You would think of ways to help them, and going to Planet Fitness, like, I just feel like I get what the attempt was. It was more of like, this is something for you to enjoy yourself with, like a product, and with any product that that they sell, they want you to buy it because you find some pleasure in it, but it's not your excuse to feeling pretty. I feel like the message didn't deliver as much, but I felt like it was more of like, we're not selling you this product because you need to look pretty. I feel like it's just more like, this is a product for you to enjoy. Yeah. I don't know. I guess that's what they were trying to go for.
It's just hard to believe that, because I mean the beauty and like cosmetics and makeup, like it all goes back to like, you're selling that because you're basically focusing on like people's insecurities. That's again, you're selling an image. So if the whole moral of the story is to like love yourself on the inside and be true to who you are on the inside, and it doesn't matter what's on the outside, but still buy makeup, it's just like it's.
I mean, but that's like saying like, oh, I mean, maybe we're getting off topic. Maybe I won't go into it, but that's another conversation, I guess.
No, I get what you mean, because I particularly did not get that impression of the ending. I didn't say, wow, she's telling people to accept themselves, but then buy this makeup. But then I do see that. I mean, when you lay it all out, then yeah, you're conveying two different messages, which is what's the problem that people are mentioning. That there's two conflicting messages in the same ending. So that's what people are kind of getting at. I didn't get that impression, but it's the facts that she's conveying one message and then conveying another message, and they're conflicting. I think that's it. But
I mean, yeah, I feel like I have to, like exclude myself from that topic because like I don't have like a makeup life to be like, no, this. I mean,
none of us do, Oscar. You're not the only one.
But I'm just saying, like, in your example,
maybe you guys can talk about this. You have a little more experience about it than I do.
No, like, I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying, like, and when you said like Planet Fitness, like, I felt like that I guess is just different then in that sense. But like,
well, it's the same.
I mean, that's that's.
I mean,
a little different, I guess.
Thing too, because again, if you don't think about it, then you're like, yeah, you don't have to look this way, but you can. That's kind of how the whole makeup thing was. Like, you should be comfortable with yourself, and if you want to wear makeup, then wear makeup.
I mean, but that's like saying, you don't have to come to Disneyland to have fun and be happy, but, come for that. It's like, you can say that for any product. I mean, that's...
No, yeah, and that's what I was getting at, is that I feel like maybe that's just a little bit... The fact that the negativity is coming from that might be a little bit overkill, because... At the end of the day, I
could see it being like that.
I mean, I guess people were just wanting either one message or the other.
And
so I guess
but I don't feel like it killed it.
No.
I don't feel like it was like, oh, well, then there goes the message.
Well, what was the point then? Like throw their movie theater popcorn and walk out.
When the movie's over,
I didn't pay for this.
The movie's over at that point. You're gonna have to walk out some way.
It wasn't that serious, but I mean, hey, some people. I'm not saying this represents my opinion. I'm saying this is what the argument is.
I feel like that was a little nitpicky of the people that are, these films, that film, because I was like, okay, that wasn't a huge deal. Because then at that point, then you could have said anything.
I mean, I did in the theater. I did notice that. I was like, oh, but you're still telling it. But it wasn't like a big. I wasn't like up in arms about it. Like it was
then the whole movie would have been a thing, because it's like the whole movie she was aspiring to work in the makeup industry, in the beauty industry.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, then that means the whole movie was wrong, which it wasn't. I mean, it wasn't.
I mean, right. I guess
I get what people are saying.
I guess that's why I've said I'll bow out of like what makeup like is. I'm not saying I'm not saying
all day long.
No, but I'm just saying like I can't go into like understanding the push for makeup, I guess. Is that what I'm trying to say? Is because I get, yes, that the idea for makeup is for you to look prettier or like help.
So then you do understand.
No, but like, but I don't use it to be in the sense of like, but I buy it because, it's a trend or anything like that. That's what people do, is like they don't buy it because they want to feel pretty, but because that's what people do when they go to parties, or that. I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I bow out of that topic of like, is makeup, what makeup is arguing for, like what, that kind of, that's what I'm saying I'm bowing out of. I'm not saying like I'm bowing out of like applying makeup or anything like that.
You can't really give the other side of.
Yeah, I can't be like, I use makeup not to make me feel pretty, but like, I can't say that.
Well, regardless of,
none of us can. Happy? None of the three of us can apply that.
I mean, I think Ruben uses a little powder.
Oh, is that what he told you?
I think he has a little. Is that a little concealer I see? Just kidding. No, but okay. So yeah, going back to like just the overall message. So obviously, I mean, it's a no-brainer. Like we know what the point they were trying to make with this film. It's like love yourself, be confident. you can do. Oh my god! What the?
My watch.
Oh my god, dude! That was eerie. Truth or dare?
I'm playing with my watch, and I'm like calling people and starting my podcast.
I know, man.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I'll put my watch away.
Moly. Yeah, you're on watch restriction, man. It's gonna be a rule before we start our podcast.
That's the makeup gods getting mad at you guys. I don't know.
So, anyways, my question was before that weird thing happened. Do you guys feel that the overall message of the film was relayed appropriately? Do you think it did a good job at solidifying the point that it's not about what we look like, but it's about how we are on the inside, and that everyone should learn to love themselves and be comfortable in their own skin? Did we walk away with that? Do we feel like they got it right? Do we feel like, I mean, Ruben, you kind of said something like, well, yeah, obviously, like, we all know that, but, so, like, do you feel like the film did it like help us remind everyone of that, or did it like, was it just unnecessary?
No, I feel like simply the fact that she saw a different person invalidated the whole message, just like from the beginning, from the get-go, because it would have been a lot stronger if she would have seen herself, and all she would have done would have been get a new perspective that could have been passed as her being delusional. I guess they could have, like, that could have been the thing, like, oh, she hit her head, but now she has a burst of confidence because she's, delusional. But then after that would have driven it home. But then the fact that she never saw her real self, it didn't mean anything. I mean, nothing happened besides the end where she's like, this is me now, and I love myself for no reason. I don't know why she loved herself.
I feel like feeling she's someone different could have been the platform that gave her the confidence, but I feel like that should have been dropped sooner than what it actually was. Like, can you imagine? And like, yes, that scene. So she has that incident. She thinks she's great, and then when she goes to her friends, they're like, no, you're the same, and she has that realization. You're like, oh, I do look the same, but why did I feel so confident? Like, I feel like that would have been an interesting point. It would have been more of like, how can I get what I thought for like 5 minutes, where I thought I was looking great, and maybe they could have a little montage of her like going back out and having a little fun. And then, like, when her friends, like, put her back in reality, maybe she could have been, like, the search for how do I find that again?
Yeah. How do I keep this? How do I retain, now that I see that I'm not different, how do I retain the same
that mentality? Yeah.
And
maybe that could have been a different approach.
Because she never was comfortable in her own body.
Right.
She was in a different body.
Yeah.
So how is she comfortable in her own body? Therefore, there's no message.
It was a Freaky Friday, but without the Friday.
Only the freaky.
Only the freaky.
Okay. No, I totally get it. I mean, I think I agree with what you guys said. Like, because it was kind of like she didn't know she was still the same, so therefore she wouldn't have gotten this confidence and
I get what the
self-esteem.
I do get what the movie was trying to imply in that it's all in your mind.
Yeah.
So.
But the fact is that on top of it's all in your mind is she saw herself as a different person, which is
right, which is the movie's, I guess, fault, is that it left it with she was a different person. If it would have played another aspect of that, where maybe she was trying to get back to where she saw that, or maybe she was like, she saw it temporarily and she's like kept forcing her to think that way, like that was her way of only finding confidence, of like, in the same way that you have to imagine people naked in the audience to public speak, that kind of way. Like, you have to force some things.
I've never done that.
Or just
Have you tried that? Does that work?
No.
Have you tried it, or no, it doesn't work?
No, I mean, I've tried it like very briefly, where I was like, I'm gonna think everyone naked, but then I was just like not thinking of what I was supposed to be saying.
I feel
like I lost. I was just like, well, why are they naked? And then they're like, well, no, I don't want to see that.
Why would they
And then,
all be sitting here naked?
Right.
For what reason?
and like, if you stand up, am I going to see, like there was like, it was like getting off topic in my head. So I was like, yep, that's not a little pathway for me to go.
Gotcha.
So now I just go with like, once I start talking, it's more of like, you're going to be respectful and listen. And it's just more of like, if you always like, it's just, I don't know. I feel like most people have the respect to allow someone to say what they have to say if it's appropriate. Yeah. Like, obviously, if this is like church and I randomly start talking out loud, and then obviously, yes, shut me up. But like, if it's like, oh, we want you to speak, or this is an opportunity to speak about your project or whatever, then most people are just going to be, give you the respect and listen, or at least pretend they're listening. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like, I feel like that should have been what the movie just got into a little tip.
Yeah, I'm like, okay. Are we talking about the film still, or no? We're on a completely another topic.
But like back to the movie, I feel like that could have been the angle where like maybe she was trying to force this image again. Like, obviously, I feel like it was just more not executed with the concept. It was like a great starting point, but I feel like that should have been in discussions of like, what do you think? And people should have been like, well, it kind of, defeats the purpose. And,
I'm getting really tired of, and I know making a good film is hard. I get it. It's not easy. Otherwise, every film would be a great film.
Makes you appreciate those great ones, huh?
It really does, but it's like, it's frustrating to have such a good concept or a good starting point and to just see the execution not take place. It's frustrating.
I feel like this is a spark for Donnie to be like, I'm gonna make my movies. I'm gonna show him how it's done.
It's just, yeah. I mean, it had, I really, the idea was, was there, and the film wasn't bad. It wasn't a bad film. I mean, some people would say it was or whatever if you're not into that, but I think overall the film was good. For sure, for me, it's rewatchable. Like, I would rewatch it.
I feel like it's definitely one that's gonna work in the iTunes streaming market, where when I was watching it, I was like, there's a lot of moments where I can see it just being played in the background in the same way Mean Girls and like a lot of those great comedy films that have female leads, that they just they work more as something to have on while you're getting ready for whatever, doing something else if you're not watching it. It had that kind of like rewatchability factor into it. Like, take away like those kinds of things, and I'm not saying this was like an par comedy film like with those great comedies that you probably think of, but I feel like, yeah, you can leave it. I feel like you can watch it on the TV on Netflix. And
okay, well then, after all that's said and done, what is your final real score? What would you give I Feel Pretty?
I give I Feel Pretty a 0.5. Just kidding, because it didn't. No, I'm just
Dang.
kidding. I was gonna say because it didn't play the song I Feel Pretty.
I know, I was gonna say that.
That's why
I was so disappointed.
That's the only reason why I was like, I'm gonna throw that out there. No, it's not a 0.5, not at all. It is a 2 out of 5 though.
Okay.
And I gave it a 2 out of 5 because this is more movie related, more so than like the topic of like Amy Schumer and all that stuff. I just don't feel like it brought a development of the character that we get to see.
Yeah.
Like, had that realization happen in the middle and her trying to, show that she's still the same afterwards, that would have been great to see. The comedy itself, there's definitely good jokes there, but if you want to classify it as comedy, I felt like there wasn't enough that was, for me, funny enough. Maybe that's, I don't know, it could be reasons beyond my, like, anything I can control. And yeah, the supporting characters were cut short. I think like the ones that were getting more attention were more that we probably didn't need to see. I feel like we should have saw more of the friends, more so than like her boss. I feel like her boss was like one of the characters was like, I get what they're trying to show. Like,
people were like loving her performance, by the way.
Yeah, Michelle.
Everyone was pointing out like she was the takeaway.
Who is it played by?
Michelle Williams. Michelle Williams was in this film.
Just want everyone to know.
Amy Schumer's boss was played by Michelle Williams.
We just replayed that audio from The Greatest Showman.
And I must have said Michelle Williams like 6-7 times. Didn't know I did.
The fact that you went this
So it's a
entire
running
episode
joke.
without.
I know. It was taking every fiber of my being to not say her name.
But yeah, I mean, just a lot of the things that didn't work for me in the movie is why I give it a 2 out of 5.
Okay. I can respect that. I don't agree, but I respect it. No, I'm just kidding.
Ooh,
No, I'm kind of close by. I'm a 2.5 out of 5 reels. For the same reasons. I felt like the execution just wasn't there. I felt like there were some loose ends that they could have tied up. I wish that, I mean, the comedy itself, I didn't have a problem with. I thought it was going to be more comedy, but I was okay with the comedy that I got because I felt like it was a comedy, but it was also supposed to be a feel-good, it was supposed to be like this feel-good kind of inspirational thing towards the end, which I know we can argue if it was kind of counterproductive with her not thinking she was somebody else the whole film and blah, blah, blah. But I thought just overall it was a feel-good film. It was funny. It had some funny moments, some endearing moments. Some of the I wish they could have developed some of the characters a little more. Wish they could have showed more of the friends as opposed to like a lot of it was like about the company she had, the Leclerc or whatever,
right? Yeah,
cosmetics, like about the company and the boss, showing the Michelle Williams a lot throughout the film and that kind of stuff. But
well, I mean, I don't know if you guys heard, but there is gonna be a I Feel Pretty 2. Just kidding. I just wanted to say the sequel.
Oh, wow. I thought you were serious.
I was like, no, there's not.
I just like have to find a way of what the title.
I too feel pretty.
I too feel. Oh, that'd be a good one too. I'm telling you, we should really be in the marketing business with these sequel titles.
I know. We should just focus on doing sequels.
We just be finding ways to add the 2. Like we're not even like trying to come up with like what the plot would be. We're just.
I know. We just like focus on the title. I feel pretty too.
Or I too.
I too feel pretty.
I like that one.
Yeah, I like that one too.
Because it sounds like a nice follow up to the first one. Like the one that I came up with sounded like it was like a remake or like a a spin-off. Yours was like a sequel. You win this one.
Thanks. It's 1 for Donnie, 0 for Oscar. No, I'm just kidding.
We're having a sequel battle from now on.
I know, right? Tune in next week to see what sequel titles we come up with. Next week is going to be Infinity War, so I mean there is going to be a sequel for that one, so we don't really have to like make that up.
I feel like it's only like the number 2, like the second movie, not like the 3rd or the 5th or the 8th, but like just the second one.
Yeah.
4th Avengers.
Oh, it's going to be good stuff. Well, awesome. Thank you guys so much for listening. Listeners, we want you to let us know what you think about the film. If you felt like this film had a really good message and positive message overall, or if you felt like they kind of didn't land it with what they were trying to go for, if you felt like some of the points were kind of counterproductive, or if you felt like maybe they just kind of could have done a better job stressing the importance of focusing on what's on the inside and it's not all about what's on the outside. Oscar, that's what I try to tell you every single morning before you walk out of here.
Oh,
it's
really?
not about what's on the outside.
Because you know what I hear when I'm leaving.
Inside.
You want to know what I hear, Ruben, when I'm leaving?
What do you hear?
Just
you know what? He's not wrong. He's actually very, very.
Because I leave earlier than Donnie. Like Donnie's still sleeping.
You're not gonna leave earlier than me. Oh well, you don't work. Wait, do you? Okay, that's another discussion.
Get my
sorry.
business.
Wait, we gotta wrap this up.
But this is a perfect way to be part of the giveaway. Just want to include that one more time.
Yes, please, guys. Don't forget. Team
YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Team Reelists. Team Reelists. No dash.
That's right. And what's the hashtag, Oscar?
Team Reelists giveaway.
Team Reelists giveaway.
So that's TEAMREELISTS GIVEAWAY.
Okay, and for our Spanish listeners, spell it in Spanish. I'm
TEAMREELISTS GIVEAWAY. Just in case.
That's not the Spanish alphabet, but it's all right.
For our Spanish listeners, just have to type in.
They just got to translate it. They just got to know. By this point, they should know the English alphabet. Okay.
Participate, guys.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
See you next time.